Hello, Shegun Fatima. You are the first one today again. You are not joking, young man. You are not joking. You are beating everybody to the game. Welcome, welcome. Modukwe Akinola, welcome. Brenda Williams, wow, it's been quite a time. Quite a while, Brenda. I've not seen you for a while. Oh, you know what? Nice to see you again. She's Sandra. How are you today? Laulo Olaoye, Glenn Blakeney, Taiwo Abuhaba, Rochelle White, Niyo Lushola, Joti Dowu, Yomi Jegede, Felix Efe, Dolce Eunice. Blessing to all of you. Welcome. Fumi Okerayi, Emanuela Amagada, Fumi Jeboda, Marian Abba, Anastasia McDonald, Dupe Gold, wow, what a name. Daniel Asenga. Welcome. Frank Godier, Flekari Matip, Evangelist Moji, Yetunde Awolesi, Mayomoile. I saw your message. You sent me a message. You know, I've not been able to reply you because you guess what? Apart from my normal reduce that you follow. Apart from my normal schedule. Sorry, I didn't get. Apart from my just put it off. Apart from my normal schedule, you know what? I'm adding HMT to it. And which means becoming more busy than usual. And the chances are, I'm not sure I might get back to you this week. The chances are, you might need to ask for the grace of patience till Monday, till next week. Because, you know, I am going to be busy this week. So, Johnny Kemensa, Gift Blessing Amos, Abimbola Olufemi, Dinson, T. Awoniyi, Precious Olawumi, Noel Okushuku, Bose Fayajiola, Ufuoma, Ola Martin, Shigonwa for Neki Okoro, Prophetess Joanna, Nikki Christian. Oh, Nikki Christian, wow. You've been lost for a while. Welcome back. Enoch Walk, Prof. Daniel. Welcome, everybody. Gladys Unshang, Jake Oke, John Ojewale, T.Y., Gift Blessing, Glenn Blankley again. Yep. Well, welcome everyone. I think I better start on time. Because yep. I think I better start on time. Okay, Precious Olawumi said it's the first time she's here. All right, if you are here for the first time, there is a tradition that we go by, which is we will all need to go share the link. There is a button under your video somewhere there. You should have a button there. The way for you to get a copy of this message is for you to press that button. It's called share button. So if you share it, you'll be able to get a copy of it. It will come to your timeline, which means you'll be able to watch it at your leisure and at your convenience. And also, your friends might be able to share some of this video as well. So please, let's go share the video. And once you do that, we'll be ready to go. And today is going to be special. As soon as I'll be finishing this particular class, this broadcast, hope to finish it on time because I really need grace to finish on time. And once we finish on time, I will be ready to jump right into the train and go to the HMT class. HMT class, it might last like for 2 hours or 3 hours, just my session. Then, you know, we will broadcast that to you by the grace of God. So we hope to broadcast that to you immediately after this. And some of you enjoyed that yesterday, isn't it? I saw some of you actively participating, even though we were there for almost 3 hours. But you were very active, and I think you were satisfied because we had altogether we had 27,000 reviews just for yesterday. 27,000 views of the HMT in the evening only. So, so that means that somebody got some people involved, or you spread the word somehow. And well, my own daily broadcast is not as popular as the HMT yet. I'm still in the 10,000 range. But yesterday night was 27,000. Anyway, here we go. Difference, or what did I call it himself? I forgot.
Difference between.
Okay, did I call it the difference? I have to be exact. Let me see what I wrote, Yeah, I think it's the difference between men and women, right? I didn't say a man and a woman, but I said men and women. So the difference between men and women. The difference between men and women. The difference between men and women. So yesterday I started this, and of course, I was at the receiving end, both on the side of men and women. Some men were not very happy because of what I revealed to them about women, and they were coming at me and challenging me and trying to correct me, which is okay. Then some women were not happy to discover that men are actually who I said they were. Well, can I do anything about that? I just have to tell you what is the truth. And I cannot change that. And some women just said, no, we can't believe men are like that. No, well, this and that. Well, you are giving them an excuse. You know what? Do you just want me to tell you what you want to hear? Or you want me to tell you the truth? It's not about what I think or what you think. It's just what we need to know about each other. And so that we'll be able to make adjustments. And but yesterday I had to block one person, unfortunately. I had to block one woman that went and said, each time I said, no, she wrote there, this guy is saying share the link because he wants money. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to share, and if you are sharing it, you are making it money. Because the more he shares, the more he gets views, and the more views he gets, the more money he collects. I said, that's not about Pastor Sunday. You could talk about money with anybody going after money, but I've never asked for anybody. In fact, people ask me here, how can we give to you? How can we donate to your ministry? Or I cannot get this for free. I need to give my tithe to you. I said, take it. Take your money. Take that tithe and look for people who are less privileged than you. People who are desperate around you. I was naked, you didn't clothe me. I was hungry, you didn't feed me. I said, go look for those people and give the money that was meant for me, go give to them. Or use your money and, make copies of these messages, put the photographs on Pastor Sunday on top and say he's the author at least, and then go sell those cassettes. And don't give me even tithe from those money you make. Take everything and do your ministry and serve God. That's the kind of thing I say. I don't even need tithe. I don't even need any commendation, any money from whatever you sell of my product. Talk less of me getting money because I'm saying share. Whenever I say share, it's not because of money. Either you want it, you believe it, or you don't want it, you might not believe it. But when I say share, I'm just concerned about, getting the word to people. I thought maybe it's egocentric a little bit. I don't think so. But I just feel that these things I'm saying might be needed by some other people. I just feel that it could help some people. Maybe I'm thinking too much of myself, but it has helped. It has helped. I'm believing what people are writing. I'm believing people's words because people are writing and giving comments that it's helping them. So if they said it's helping them, Why not believe them? Why not assume that it could as well help other people out there? So that's why I'm saying share. So I'm not saying share because I need money. I don't even know people get money for sharing on Facebook or for what. If they do, I don't know. I am reaching 80 million people on Facebook. And I've never been approached to be paid, or maybe they get paid, but I'm just not aware of it. So this is not about money. Okay, so what are the differences? Let's look at some more differences between men and women. Today, the first difference I'm going to look at is the fact that, and even yesterday I spoke about the fact that women like to talk and they need to talk more. But there is a paradox in life. Despite the fact that they like to talk, and despite the fact that they have a need to talk, it's just a need. It's not about either she's just my wife that's like that, or it's just your wife that's like that. Is a general tendency, and it's not because she's emotional or she's from an unstable family or her mother is like that or her parents are like that. That's not because of that. It's just because that's the way women are built, and they are built up demands for that. And you would do your wife a good lesson. I mean, you will do a lot of good by, actually understanding her need to speak up, and your need and your obligation to listen to her, honor her that way. Try to listen as much as possible to her. And when she wants to hear you out, when she's asking you about your day, try to go the extra miles and give her some more detailed information about how your day has been. It's her need, and it helps her to unwind, and it also helps her to relax. And unlike us, we speak to pass information, to communicate. But women don't just speak to communicate. Women speak both to communicate, but more importantly, for them to unwind and for them to, gain trust and gain support and gain companionship. And, a lot of more things are involved when a woman is speaking than when a man is speaking. A man is just about the information. It's just telling you what the fact of what has happened. But the lady, a lot of things are involved in the process, and she's getting a lot of her needs met in the process. So by listening to your wife, you are ministering to her, and by letting her speak as well, you are also ministering to her. But at the same time, see the paradox of it? Is the paradox of it that I'm going to talk about today. The paradox also is that even though she talks a lot, and she's, of course, the talkative of the house, she's the talker of the house, she talks more than the man, but despite that, can you believe it? Can you believe it? Women, despite that, yet are more secretive than the men. Is that not a paradox? They are the ones who speak all the time. But still, they are more discreet. They are more secretive than the men. It will be like, no, what do you mean? Well, let me tell you what. They speak, but if they don't trust you, you're not going to get that extra information from them. In fact, as a matter of fact, women are known to be the ones who will suspect the bad companions or friends or people of their husbands. They are the ones who will even know faster. Even though they have communicated less, even though they have known the person less, but they are the ones who will come and say, be careful about this thing, or be careful about this business opportunity. They are the ones who are so discreet. So, yes, they speak a lot, but they have some inbuilt sensor or something. It's a kind of sensor they have in them. They know who to speak that or that volume of words to, and they know who not to speak to, and they know when to be quiet. Especially when they sense danger quite easily, and much more easily with it. But also, apart from sensing danger, women also they know how to play their games. Even from their own husband, who they believe and trust, they know exactly what things to unveil to him and what things to share with him. And they kind of have a sense of when he's not ready or when they will not receive what they are coming from, what they're coming with. And so they know some things not to share with even their husband. And I'm going to say this, women might not like this, but women also are much more secretive. It's much more difficult for the man to hide anything. But on daily basis, women easily hide a lot of things from the man, and the man doesn't even have an idea. She might be hiding how she looks, and the man might be living with this girl or this woman for a year or 2 or 3 or 10, and doesn't still know some things about her. She might be hiding some things about her past. She might be hiding some things about her biography. She might be hiding some things about even some things in the house, and the man doesn't even have an idea where those things are. So women they are skillful in hiding stuff. They can be very skillful in hiding what they don't want people to know. And you could say they are more cunning. I'm sorry, the ladies, for this using the word, but the women could be cunning in a way that the men won't even notice. And to a large extent, let me tell you this, women know more than they are saying. Women know and understand more than you are saying. They are smarter than you are willing to give them credit for. Or they are even willing to expose to you. Sometimes they might step back and not really let you know, or don't even want you to know that they are smarter than you, and you'll be thinking they are not as smart. And they don't know as much. But, so that's another thing about women. So you could trust them more. And but, what I'm telling you now, if it had been 30 years ago when I was a young man growing up in Africa, I would have thought the opposite. I would have said it. Because the stereotype where I'm coming from is that never tell a woman anything. That is the stereotype from the culture that I'm coming from. The African culture believes that anything you tell a woman is bad news, and it's gone all over the world. And not just African culture. I don't think it's just African culture that believes that. Most culture believe that women are just so, they are just, they don't control anything. They cannot control their tongues. They cannot control their secret. You cannot tell a woman a secret. Maybe yes. Maybe a lot of secrets have come out through a woman. Maybe a lot of women have, if you need to use, you can always be free. If maybe it's true that a lot of women have let a lot of secrets out and all that, and that women have been guilty of spreading news that they were not supposed to spread. And a lot of people, even like in Africa, a lot of secret societies don't allow women to join, and they don't even allow women to see them what they do, because they believe they are built on the notion that women cannot be trusted, and that women will go about telling stories and telling everything. I don't know where they got that from. And if you read a lot of fairy tales and a lot of stories and history books, everybody's always blaming the woman. Maybe that is connected to what happened in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve. I don't know. But you know what? Women are not as simplistic as people have portrayed them to be. I don't know why. I'm talking right now professionally. So, but I'm telling you that this is professional approach of the build of a woman and the functioning of a woman tells me that she's more discreet and she's smarter than we think. And that goes in direct conflict with the regular perception, with the regular opinion out there. But let me tell you, that is the truth. Any man who has been married to a woman and has lived with a woman, and they are close with that woman, I'm not talking about having 2, 3 wives and you don't know any one of them, but and you just assume what everybody says. But if you really know your woman, I think you will have to agree with me that women are smarter than the impression they pass across. And that women are actually smarter than the culture is giving them the benefit of. And women are not so foolish like the culture and tradition is saying, that they are just talking and they are just loose can, and you know that they just let anything go and you cannot trust them, you cannot. Maybe there's some truth to that, but you know what? I would rather hold on to science than to fiction. And science says that women, yes, among themselves they could talk about everything, but they need trust to talk. They are not just the kind of people that anybody could just walk up to and tell them on something about their family or their lives or some secret, and they begin to tell them. I think you need to touch the heart of the woman. You really need to open her up before she could, expose everything to you like that. And the nature of women betrays that notion that she just an open tap and gushes out everything. I think women are much more complex than that, and they are much more discreet than that men are giving them. Than the world is giving them credit for. Okay, you know what I think? Since I'm we are at HMT season, I will reveal to you some secret now, because I have some HMT participants here, just a few of them, in this room with me. I think it might be helpful to hear their opinion about that. And maybe not everybody, but any one of you want to say. I think it might be interesting. Just let's hear what you have to say. Let's hear what you have to say. Yemi, you are very smart. What will you say about my point that I've just made?
Okay, there were several things you said, and I was making my own notes so that I could come back to them as you were speaking. I do.
This is Davida. This is Davida, by the way.
Yeah. I do identify with both sides of a woman speaking a lot and a woman not speaking. And as you said, I guess a woman would speak a lot where there's trust. I would use my own personal example. There's some men that I've met in ministry, and when I was pastoring as a woman, and their hearts towards me, they would check on me, how's the ministry going? Their hearts towards me, they were not my pastors, but they had a pastoral heart towards me. They were caring about me. They were so concerned about what was going on for me as a woman in ministry. So a person like that, there was a particular person, they became, I could trust them with a lot. They actually became a very great confidence for me. But you have other people, and as soon as they talk, you know that this is a no-go area for me as a woman. You just keep you communicate, you relate, but you have your boundaries because of the perspective and where they're coming from with regards to women. The perspective of a woman is very different. Yeah. So yes, I believe that there has to be that element of trust, and even within the marriage, when a woman will talk a lot to their spouse when maybe they've just got married, but when the trust element, maybe you've told the husband something about your past, and then in an argument, it becomes something that they use to batter you. Every time, something that God has forgiven or God has moved on from, that you just thought, okay, let me just share it with this spouse, and which might be maturity, spiritual immaturity on the part of the male. But so when they batter you with it today, they apologize, they batter with it tomorrow. Next time.
Women are right in that. You are so spot on there, sir.
Okay, thank you, ladies, for your support. Yes, So what a woman does is a woman withdraws and begins to learn what information to share. I mean, a woman would share with her friends, this is what I did. I told them about this and this is what happened. Because a woman does need support. Like you said, a woman needs to talk. And if a woman can't talk to their spouse, they'll talk out. They're looking for a way to express themselves, to express their heart. So they'll talk to other people. And then they begin to... I don't believe that they go into the marriage to be secretive. Most of them don't, unless they've had prior experience, depending on how they've been brought up as... they might have come from a family where there's a lot of competition. There are 2 wives, and there's a lot of strife going on in the extended family. People come with that baggage into the marriage, so they're already hiding things in the new marriage. Yes. So yes, trust is a big issue. I believe that in a marriage, transparency is so important.
Okay, what about, I don't know, you've been to Africa, right?
Oh yeah.
So are you familiar with what Africans believe that women can be trusted?
That women can't be trusted.
They cannot be trusted.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Because what they say is that even secret societies will not even allow them. Okay. They kind of treat them as outcasts. Okay. As if anything they know, that the whole world has known.
Yeah, I can understand that. Okay. And I can understand that. And that might be true as well, because when it comes to... I mean, a man, like, the build-up of a woman might be more emotional, like you said. So a man under pressure relates different from a woman under pressure. Men go to war, they might put them under pressure, they have to keep the oath of honor. For a woman, it's probably different. So what you find is, so a man might be put under all sorts of pressure, they will still keep that honor. From what I've understood, and I think it might have to do with the roles of male and female over the generations. Women staying at home, men going to war, men facing the conflict.
If any one of you would like to contribute, just raise your hand. Let me know. Okay. This is Dr. Oshu here.
Hello, everyone. I'm just wondering if it's got something to do with the emotional, the way both sexes are wired differently emotionally. Okay. Because like you've discussed previously, women are more predominantly emotional. Okay, they will release themselves by maybe crying or yelling or saying things. So, and that's where a man is able to bottle up more and suffer inside. So I wonder if it is a good thing actually that women are able to release those things, that whether the things they say that people will think, oh, she's talking too much, she shouldn't be saying that. If those are things that she should be saying because she needs her freedom. And maybe women need to learn from that and also be more expressive and release ourselves from the pressures rather than die inside.
Can women be trusted then?
Can they be trusted? Again, I'll go back to first principles. What is trust? Because if you ask me, for example, if you come to me and you say to me, oh, I committed murder yesterday, I killed someone yesterday, but I'm trusting you not to tell anyone. Am I doing the right thing by keeping silent? Or should I actually go to the police? If I go to the police, does that mean I cannot be trusted?
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you that conspiracy kind of theory. Do you know that statistics says that is it 89% of men have confessed to have been involved in extramarital affairs or masturbation or sexual kind of sin. But for women, when they are married, it's 25% who have admitted. Then general women, 40-something%, 44, 45%. Then you wonder, who are the men doing those things with? Are they doing it with themselves? I think it's about the fact that the women are more secretive. No? Not necessarily?
Really, the men could be doing it with unmarried women.
Okay.
So married women would want to keep their homes.
Women, right?
Yeah, definitely. Married women want to keep their homes. But let's get back to the area of trust.
Okay.
you know, where you said, because I believe
And
that
women be
passionately, yeah, definitely. And the reason they can be trusted is that women are not loose cannons that can just talk and just say anything,
But
anyhow.
the culture says they are.
Well, we've been plagued for so long, but we're grateful for liberty and, you know.
So that's look at the way you put it.
Yeah.
That the women have been plagued.
Yeah, very wrong. Yeah, conception. Oh, yeah, that's quite correct. You know, we're more
Then
trustworthy.
it's pitiful that to have been women. So women have been suffering a lot.
A lot, and that's why I'm so glad this teaching it's actually liberating the men themselves.
Yeah.
Because for so long they've played so much on us, and a lot of women have been played.
That's so sad.
It's very sad. It's very sad. I was at a pastor's conference where
They want to know who you are.
I'm Pastor Chris Ogedembe. You know,
This is Pastor Chris.
yeah, Ogedembe. Usually I'm very shy, but I'm passionate about this because, you know, and what really hurts me the most
in
is
African culture, it's more like they go to the kitchen, go out of there.
It's
you want
even-
to talk, come out of here.
even within the church culture, it's worse when, you know, you organize a women's conference and then they go back so heavy laden and they've been battered and bruised, and you know you're hearing it's your fault that your husband did this, it's your fault that this happened, it's your fault that this happened, and not forgetting that, you know, nowadays women too have to work. They're not stay-home women anymore. You know, in our fathers' times or grandfathers and all that, like you said, they stayed home and kept the homes and everything. But now they have to work, and so if anything happens in the home, it's your fault. Or a good woman keeps her home, but because you know something happened,
But she's at
you
work.
yeah. You understand?
Can't keep the home anymore. She's at work.
Anymore. And I don't want to miss this point. The reason why the women, you know, they're more discreet and secretive is because of, we'll go back to your analysis earlier on, where, you know, we're mixed up emotionally. So if I release an information to you and you hurt me with it, it takes me a while to come out of it. You know, as a matter of fact, the man can walk away unhurt, but the woman carries that, you know, that's
stigma.
Exactly, and you know you're hurt all over. It takes you time. I mean, your boyfriend walks out on you 20 years ago. You're still carrying in your head. That's, you know, so that's why we're more discreet. We're very careful whom we should share information with, because you can hurt me with it, and if you're gonna hurt me with it, then sorry, I don't want to release it to you. But, you know, we talk because exactly we want to unwind, but we're not stupid women. We know what we release. We know what we can tell you. We are selective. We can select what information to release to you. The fact that we want to unwind, we want to, you know, chill out, doesn't mean we want to tell you everything in our heart. That's the joke. And so I'm so glad the way God has packaged us, and I'm glad I'm a woman, and I'm glad this is coming out.
So you are trying to tell me that's a stereotype. What they are saying, that women cannot be trusted, chase her away from the place where they want the family meeting, don't let her be there, you know, you don't hide from her or don't expose things to her.
That's always been what it is, right from the onset. But see what Jesus did. See what Jesus did. Men were there, and I mean, there were men that came to the tomb. When Mary came, Jesus, even the fact that Jesus hadn't gone to show himself to the Father, he had to make a detour. He had to come by to let Mary know, listen, I appreciate your love. He was basically telling the whole world, look, I'm putting a signature on womanhood here. He came by and said, even when the woman approached him to touch him, he said, it's okay, don't touch me yet, because I've not yet gone back to the Father. But I want you to know you're important. You are an important species. That's why I came by, to let you know that I am no longer in that grave. So Jesus himself, God himself, places an importance on us. I mean, look at everything that God made. Because of time, I'm not going to go into it, but let me just analyze it. Each time God, you know, the Bible says God made something. It says, and it was good. The moment God created woman, and woman was the last creature, the moment he created woman, look at your Bible very well. It says, and it was very good. Very good. Very good. And that was the last thing that God created. So I think, the whole world should begin to look at us differently. And we've carried so much stigma, and it's time for deliverance. And if our men can get this right, then we'll have our homes settled, marriages will work, and women will be liberated. Women can be elevated to their, main positions. Even pastors' wives are told you're supposed to submit to your husband's ministry, as though you don't have your own calling. You have, God has not created you for a purpose. So if the man does not have a calling, you just follow dogmatically, and then you go into what? Into nothing. And whoever is saying that they're sharing to make money is just an ignoramus, they don't have a clue. This is, you're sharing to liberate humanity. Basically, that's what it is. Pastor Sonny could be making money. He doesn't even know he could be making money. But, now you're helping us that we're going to let him know how he can make money. Amen. But it's basically to liberate humanity so that we have a different way of women. Let me tell you, a woman out there, because there are so many women suffering. So many women have died prematurely. So many women, because they look right and left. There's nowhere. You go you go here, they blame you. You go here, they blame you. Even the church blames you. You go to a women's conference, they tell you it's your fault. Then where do you turn to? So to me, this is a liberation platform. And I pray that every woman out there will be liberated. And I pray that every man out there will begin to see their women as, something special, that have a destiny, that they have a destiny to fulfill, and somewhere that they're going. So we just want to appreciate you for this platform. I said that God bless you.
They are saying they love you. They are writing the comment. They said they love you and you are spot on. A lot of ladies are commending your words. Okay, you wanted to...
Yeah, I just wanted to add a little bit to that. I think it's just a lack of understanding. The culture is... When you look at the culture, there's a lot of darkness in the culture. You've done a lot of analysis of the woman, the nature of the woman, and things like that, and what you're doing here. I don't really believe that men are wanting to really be oppressive, but that's what they are told. They're told that this is their role. The church tells them that this is their role, and they've read scriptures and it's been passed down. So when they're trying to be who they are told to be. But it's not working because there's brokenness. Somebody is hurting. Even the men are hurting. The women are hurting. Society is hurting because of the blueprint is wrong.
Caroline, you are a young girl. You are a young girl, just starting your own life. What's your contribution to this dispute?
I definitely agree with what has been said about... I don't think that it's our nature to be secretive. I think that if the world were perfect, women would be very open and they'd be very trusting. I think that the society makes us secretive. Like she said, if we have experienced someone using what we shared against us, why then would we put our neck on the line, the stupidity.
What about then people thinking that women are not trustworthy because they share everything?
Well, it's kind of like the way that, in the States, I'll hear Nigerians say, oh, I don't want to go back to Nigeria, those people will kill you. But it's if you don't take care of your own people, of course they're not going to take care of you. It's kind of like that. It's like we are made untrustworthy by those who don't trust us. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a vicious cycle. It's which one came first, the chicken or the egg?
It's not that they don't trust the ladies. They just say that the ladies, they talk a lot, and because they talk a lot, that means that they're going to reveal a lot of secrets in the wrong places.
Well, we talk 20 times, 20,000 words a day.
And here's the thing that I find funny, because I'm actually not a talkative woman. I'm not. Maybe I've learned that over the years. But what I realize is that I will talk to women, or I'm not even talking, but when they are talking, like you said, Pastor Sunday, we can hear more than what you're saying. Mm-hmm. And when women are talking, sometimes they're talking, to distract you from what they actually
Wow.
are feeling. So sometimes I'll listen to a woman talk, and instead of listening to what she's saying, I'm wondering, so what are you hiding now? Like, what are you trying to distract me from?
Wow.
You know, sometimes women they have an insecurity with being in control, and so they'll just.
So they are not an open canon like.
No, but they will sound like it because they're saying a lot of words. But the internal dialogue is really what you want to get to. But that comes like was said here with trust. If you really want to get a woman to talk real, you have to gain that trust. Otherwise, she'll just be flying words in your face.
That's to be in trust.
Exactly.
So without trust, they will just be distracting you.
Yeah, but you think she's saying something real. I've done that before too. When I don't trust them and they want to know something, I'll just start talking. They think they're getting something.
You know, that is one point that I have not taken time to explain yet. That women will use word actually as a protective edge. So women will use words to protect themselves even from the very thing that you wanted to get out of them. And this is very smart, very smart. But let's go back to the diagrams and the photographs of why women are like that. And I want to let the men understand that, you know, we shouldn't be so negative about these women, about women in the sense that they cannot be trusted and they talk a lot. But I think we should begin to believe them. These are what the ladies are saying, that they know what to say at the right time. And for them to really say the depth, secret of their hearts, believe me, they need trust. They need to trust you. Otherwise, they will just be telling you what you think, what they know they are safe to say. Women are smart. They are practical. They tell you things that they know will not hurt them or their family. But for them to really open up everything to you, let's look at this photograph again. Let's look at this. Please come. Yeah. You need to help me hold it. Okay. Let's look at this photograph again. This is the way women are wired. Now, this is the man. This is the man. You say, let's say this is the body, that's the heart, that is the emotions, feelings, this is the mind. So man, it doesn't work automatically. So if anything affects his emotions, he has to intentionally permit it to go to his mind. Or he has to intentionally permit it to affect his heart and all that. But with the woman, anything that is going on in her life is affecting everywhere. So that's why she needs that urge to unwind and speak and release the pressure from her, because everything is pressurizing her. Now, but the thing is, you see she's interwoven, and that means that you need to discover her. She's not out there. You need to unravel her, just like this. Sorry, just like this. Don't go yet. Just like this thing here. Yeah, these sulfates. So you need to bring her out. Huh? It's not showing? Yeah, you need to begin. You need to pull, but normally it's like this. It's inside. So there must be some form of effort, and that effort for the lady is trust. It is trust that derives more, and the more trust, the more comes out. The more trust, the more comes out. The more trust, the more comes out. If they are not less, she can go back inside again and hide in a shell. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So that is why that photograph is so important. So you need to open her up. It's not that women are going to just talk to everybody about everything. You need to unravel her. You need to open her up. And that thing that opens the lady up is the love and especially the trust. She has to be able to trust you and open you, and be open to you. Yeah? Okay. Yes, sir.
I just want to go back to the secrecy issue. Yeah. And I'm looking at it, and I know that the secrecy, I've seen and I've heard of situations where women use secrecy in a negative way. But sometimes I've also heard where people use it in a positive way, similar to Abigail in the Bible. So sometimes, and I think the difference between the two have to do with something you've taught us earlier about, which is the maturity, the spiritual maturity. A spiritual mature woman would use, might think, okay, this is not the time to expose it, or this is not the time to share that bit of information because it won't be accepted, and still carry on doing certain things for the family, for the benefit of the family. But a woman who is immature or maybe more carnal might be doing it because of the wrong reasons. So I would say that yes, that women shouldn't just all be even put in that same. Because there's evidence that women are secret in a negative way, and there's evidence that women are secretive in a positive way, and I'll call that tactfulness, So, yes, I think it has to also, it's boiled down to their level of maturity emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, and so on and so forth.
Thank you. There's something I want to say about the ladies today. Another point I want to make about women and men, the difference between us, is that this is not, by the way, what I'm talking about is the difference between men and women. Another difference I want to talk about is that men are built in such a way, and again, thanks to the photograph that I showed you, you see that our emotions and our composition are in blocks. And because we're in blocks, that means that the man, I want to talk about self-confidence and self-esteem. But God built men in such a way that they will be independent. Whatever is happening in their lives will not always affect them totally and universally and generally. So if a man, for example, is having a problem with his family, it doesn't mean that he will not perform at work. In fact, I might even want to perform because of that problem he has at home. He might be even more determined to perform at work and to go and even make more money. Or he might even go from that family where he's having problem and go and start another family or do another relationship. Even though, so what I'm saying is that with self-esteem, men don't suffer as much as women suffer. For example, if somebody comes to tell me and say, "You are not so handsome," okay, it's your opinion. It's my choice. Do I want to think about it or take it serious as a man, or I can just I want to shun it and just throw it? It's your opinion. Forget about it. What about you? What a man would normally say is, if you say I'm not handsome, you say, "What about you? Who say you are handsome?" That's what a man will say. Because God built a man in such a way that whatever happens to me, either to my mind, doesn't automatically affect my heart. And whatever happens to my heart or to my emotions doesn't automatically happen to my mind, or to my mind doesn't automatically happen to my emotions. I can control, I can keep those things apart as a man. So if you say I'm not handsome, it's your problem. I think I'm handsome. Or, you two are not handsome. I just forget them. In the next week, I don't even remember that somebody told me I'm not handsome at all. Or even tomorrow, I don't remember. Even if I remember, it's not serious for the man. But if you tell a girl, a lady, any woman, even if she is an old woman, if you tell her you are not beautiful, so I need you again. You need to sit again. Okay. If you tell the girl or the lady that, like I said, yes. So like I said, let's say this is the body of the man. You just told him he's not beautiful, he's not handsome. That goes to his ears. It stops in his ear, but it doesn't go to his heart. Unless he allows it. You see, there is a thin line between those blocks. That thin lines are permission. It is his own willpower. If he wants to let this thing affect him or not. So he could say, "Oh, why is it saying like that? Why did it?" He could begin to think about it if he wants. So he can allow it to go to his mind or to his heart or to his emotion if he allows it. But for the woman, you see, the yellow is that that's where the body is, and that's where she heard it in her ear, that you are not beautiful. It goes spiral. Automatically, it affects everything because everything is built together. So she begins to suffer. I want to use this opportunity to talk to men. If you respect me as a man and you are here, I will stand on my knees if you want. Never you tell your wife, your daughter, or your sister, never you tell them that you are not beautiful. Never you tell a girl, even your girlfriend, that you are ugly, or you are not beautiful, or you are fat. I don't know. See what happens in that photograph. It goes beyond her hearing it. A year later, she will still be fighting that. She will still be struggling with that. Not just a day later, not just a week later, not just 2 weeks later. A year later, 10 years later, she will still be remembering that. That is why a woman must be protected. She's the weaker vessel. Anything, just hearing, and you are thinking, and if she's your wife, the next day you want to go to bed with her. You want to sleep with her after telling her she's not beautiful. I don't know what that does to a woman. It's just like you are killing her 10 times over. You've just killed her already mentally. You've just killed her emotionally, psychologically. And now you want to sleep with her. It's like you want to rape her. And that's why rape is not allowed. You know, as a man, let me tell you, women, men, they don't know what is wrong with rape. They know it's wrong because it's a crime. That's just in their head. That's what they know, what men know. They know that rape is bad because it's a crime. But they don't know why it's wrong. 90% of men don't know, they don't even think about why it's wrong. And many of them do rape without even knowing they do rape. Because they force a woman to do what she doesn't want to do. They might even be their husbands. They force a woman to sleep with them. They force a woman. Any forcing of a woman is equal to a rape almost. Because if you force, why is rape bad? Please help me hold it again. Why is rape so destructive? You see, let's say the body, this is the body here, or the yellow is the body. Anything you do against the body, automatic. She doesn't need to give permission to you. It's even beyond her will. She doesn't even need her own will. It automatically gives her abuse, that violence. It's a violence not just over her body, it becomes violence over her spirit, over her mind, over her emotions, over her feelings, over her heart. She is totally dejected. It's like a flower that is totally crumbled, a flower that is totally trampled on everywhere. So any kind of offense to a woman, not just for example, I say you are not beautiful. That is as bad as a rape for a woman. But you see, they have not criminalized that. Nobody has criminalized that yet. Physical rape has been criminalized. If violence. But do you know that as a little thing as you are not beautiful, you are ugly, that is as bad as rape to a woman? Can you believe it? That is as bad as a rape to a woman. Why? Not as violent physically, but it's as bad. Emotionally. If you say she's not beautiful, it's as bad as a rape. Because he's going See, just like physical rape goes and affects all part of our life, that is how words goes automatically as well and affects all our body. So any kind of abuse, any kind of insult, any kind of demeaning of a woman, any kind of insult, any kind of abuse, what are the synonyms? What people abuse, insult? What are the things? Anything that
crushes her, anything.
Yeah, anything that violence, any form of violence, oppression, even spitefulness, any kind of spitefulness, any kind of thing. It's anything that affects her goes all around. It's like a poison and destroys her on every level. Even shouting, even raising up your voice, even rebuke,
or ignoring,
even ignoring, ordinary thing like ignoring could be damaging. Talk less of, you know what I see men do? Men go and begin to rebuke. They say they are correcting. So, and they are telling me, when I said never correct, no, talk, no, don't even practice it to begin to sit down your wife and begin to rebuke her. And they said not lecture them, they correct, they rebuke, they say, no, I'm just correcting her. She's beyond correction. Why is it that you cannot even take her? I'm correcting her, reprimanding her. And chastising her. So chastisement and talking to her, and you are this girl, I'm your husband here. They don't know that is even as bad as a rape also for a woman. Can you? Because why is it as bad as rape? Because this biology is not even a choice. So we wonder, why is she crying? Why is she crying? I've just started talking to you and she started crying. Why are you crying? Because you see, even that kind of reprimanding, even that kind of abuse, even that kind of correcting, what you call correction, is as damaging as any rape or any danger or anything. It all goes viral in our body. You see why God said women must only be treated as co-heir of heaven's God Father's grace, as princess and as a weaker vessel. Don't violate. It is against our nature to be mistreated. So even though the lady that was caught in adultery, she was guilty, Jesus didn't say she didn't do it. And Jesus didn't say those people lied against her. They didn't lie against her. But even though she was wrong, well, you know what Jesus did? Because they brought her so that he would reprimand her. They brought her so that he would judge her, condemn her, and pass some judgment on her. Well, you know what she did? She went and stood between her and her accusers. She fenced her. He knew the nature. He gave protection. She was guilty, but that is not an excuse to crush her. She did it, but that still is not a reason good enough to destroy her or to put her down. Okay, when the other lady brought the oil, the alabaster oil, and the men, some men started talking, and they were starting to rebuke her. He stood again and defended her. He knows something that we still don't know very well. Yeah, he knows the nature and the composition of a woman. Before you talk, let me show you another photograph that will show you just how strongly women feel about anything that happens to them, and how self-esteem is a big thing for a woman, and it's not a big thing for a man. See, with self-esteem, men are okay. See, show the photograph, but make it so that you can do it. Can you see the photograph? The man is ugly and looking terrible. He's just nothing. He's thin, but look at what he's seeing in the photo, in the mirror. Look what he's seeing in the mirror. Look what he's seeing in the mirror.
Okay.
He is a cool guy. Man is always having respect for himself. He's always having an exaggerated self-opinion about himself. He doesn't feel he's bad. He's okay. But look at the woman now. Look at the woman. She is slim, trim, okay. But she is already damaged, having doubts and lack of confidence. That's why a woman needs compliments all the time. Men are fond of saying that, but why? Why are you always asking, do you love me? No, do I love you? Why are you always asking me to tell you something? Don't you know that? Why? If I didn't know, would I have married you? Why should keep it. Why should I be telling you that you love, I love you all the time? Why should I be telling you you are beautiful all the time? But what's wrong? But I married you now. She needs that reassurance. You know why she needs the assurance? You remember the circle, all the things. She has so many things going on at the same time in her life. So, because everything that is happening around her is affecting her self-esteem, it's affecting her. You see, anything that is going on around is all affecting her on daily basis, on regular basis. So she's struggling with so many other things. And if she's not having support from somewhere, if she's not having reassurance from somewhere, she's on her own in a wide world, evil world. And things that we don't even feel, things that don't even affect us men, things that we don't even notice, is affecting her negatively automatically, even without her even knowing. She might not even know what is affecting her. If it is the weather that changes, affecting her. If it is rain that fell, is affecting her. If it is sun that came, is affecting her. And because it's going, and it's not just affecting her body, it's going all viral all over her body. But apart from all this external things that happen at work is affecting her. Things that happen to her friends is affecting her. Things that happen to her family is affecting her. Things that happen in her mood is affecting her. How she slept is affecting her. But apart from all that, there are a lot of other processes in a woman. The hormones are always in the movement. The hormones are always changing position. The hormones are always, playing some roles. Some things that are happening inside her that we don't even see, that she doesn't even know herself, are affecting her. Can you now see? No, it's okay. Can you now see how much support these ladies need from us? Can you now begin to imagine how much help they need from us at all time just to make them steady? We should be holding them in our hands. Yes. What I teach my members is this. You should be treating a woman like this. Try to give this to me. Give me. Try to give me so that it shows. Okay. I should be, okay, this is a woman. This is a woman. I must be careful. This is a woman. This is with how much care. I must treat every woman at all times. Like a 2-year-old kid, baby girl, that is going through a cliff or, going towards a cliff or a hole. She's about to fall or something. And a father is there, strong father. You run after her and say, oh, no. Come. You grow after her. That's how a lady should be pampered. She will always be looked out for all the time. Because of a lot of processes that are going on inside of her that we don't even know. We don't even have an idea of. You wanted to say something? Oh, no? You still want to say? Okay.
Just in regard of what you regarding the woman that was caught in the very act in the book of John chapter 8.
Yes.
So, because of what you said, that's why I just want to pass this across. You see, there's this man of God that was preaching. He said he used to preach it in his church that those men that went to catch the woman in the very act. So he was saying, how do they get there? Mainly they should be having the keys to the house of the woman, because you cannot just go and catch somebody that maybe like the woman, I believe she wasn't caught outside. It was in the very act.
So how did you know it? Meaning you are a kind of a participant. You always go to this woman.
Yeah, but that's not the topic we are discussing now.
Yeah.
The topic we are discussing now is about what is happening to her. I only use that example just to see how Jesus stood for her and protected her emotions, and because her nature, because he was aware of the the fragility and the delicate nature of the woman. Which I understand your point, but I would have made the same point too. But I want to emphasize this particular instance that the integrity of the woman, anything could affect her. Anybody else want to say anything about it? Yes, please.
I know it's easy to think that okay, it's only married men who should be concerned because they are the ones who have wives at home. But I think every man, this is a lesson that every man should learn. Even young men who are yet to, if you're not yet married, you're very privileged to be listening to this, because you have some lessons that you can now begin to apply from the very beginning. And a lady doesn't have to be your wife or your sister for you to protect her. We should see ourselves as representatives of God. Wherever we see a lady, we take responsibility for her and not speak against her. And even if we see something happening to her, we'll be the ones that will form that wall or that shield around her.
It is what Jesus does, and he did. And he's still doing. I didn't see anywhere in the Bible where Jesus or God put down the woman.
Okay, then the question I have for you, Pastor Chris, is, but how do you women know that? I just want to say this to the defense of the men. That you women, because just let me tell you this. To the defense of the men. To the defense of the men, I want to say this. Maybe it's not to the defense of the men, I don't even know. But I just want to let you know that this thing I just mentioned today, for example, even about self-esteem, I didn't know it. And to a large part of my life when I was in Africa, I was always playing supremacy. I was always trying to break the girls, stop them, from competing with me or prove to them that I was better. I never knew how much damage I was causing. What I'm about to say is, what I'm trying to say is, Pastor Chris, men are trying to crush their wives into the families, abuse her, put her down. I think we are just not aware of the vulnerability of the women.
That's it. That's Jesus.
Men are not aware. What do you say to that? Do women know that we are not aware, or women don't know that we are not aware of?
Women have no clue. Men have no clue. And that's why this platform is, what you're revealing, it's like, everybody's saying, even the men are saying, wow, I didn't know this. I could have treated my wife better. I could treat my wife better. I could be treating my girls better. And, so men are starting to change, knowing that this is the composition. And, it's just lack of knowledge, basically. It's ignorance of how we were packaged by God. But, my own point is that Jesus didn't treat us the way society has been treating us. So we look at Sarah, look, take two scenarios, for instance. God goes to, an angel goes to Sarah, says, by this time next year, you're going to have a child. The lady laughs, and as if to say, all right, yeah, for real. I'm how old, and I'm going to have a child. And she gets away with it. But then comes Zechariah. He was in the act of service, and then he's told, you're going to have a son. And he says, all right, yeah, we're right. And then he loses his you understand? He couldn't talk for the next 9 months. Brilliant. So, do you understand? He didn't talk for it. So, God, the way God treated us, he placed such importance on the woman. Another scenario is when, Jesus was in the temple. He was ministering. Right there, he spotted a woman at the back that was bent over. Jesus, you know, broke protocol, left the altar, went straight to that woman and pulled the woman and said, woman, thou art loose from thy infirmities. You know, we're God's last born, but at the same time, the way he handles us, he realizes how fragile we are. And if men, even though men has not known, you know, but if we could just have learned from Jesus's act, how Jesus related with the women, then, you know, we would, but like I was saying, everybody is learning, you know, our homes are receiving healings and deliverance, and this is just a way to basically educate humanity about the composition of the man and the woman. And I'm so glad that I thought I knew so much about women, but this is just a blowout for me. Knowing how, you know, emotions, you know, how we feel within us, how the man can just walk away not feeling anything, but the woman is hurt all over and over and over, and carries that hurt for years. So we're just so grateful to you, sir, for this platform.
Then I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue. Caroline, please come. You see, like I said, see that photograph again? That is the man. Where is my man? That's the man. He has to give permission to the emotions to affect the feelings, and the feelings to affect the heart, the affect the mind and everything, the thought. But a lot of things are going on in the life of the woman, even from her hormones, even from her mood, even from her menstruation. Now, can you imagine you as a man going through bleeding every month? For a few days, not for 1 hour. But what you don't know are the hormonal changes, are the complex reactions that are happening in their body at that same time. And then she has to still smile.
And sacrifice, cook, clean, work, and children.
That's why I say to men, if you are not married, please take your time and make your money first. If you could get a house help, get it to help you. If you love that woman, if you just love her and care about her, get a house help, please. Get a driver if you can, or get at least an apartment, or please help at home or something. Anyway, let me tell you, let me show you another thing here. See, this is how life is for women. And I think I must show you this photograph. Every day a woman wakes up.
Oh dear.
This is a natural reality. You see the man? You see the man? He sees one problem or two, and he's already, I have this problem at home. What are the problems of the man? Work? That's all. And maybe emotions, or maybe relatives. Two problems that the men are always thinking about at one time. Work. Oh, I have this challenge at work. That's all. Men don't have any challenge. And apart from work that we think about, maybe family pressure, that's it. We don't have any other problem again. No man thinks about more than two problems at a time. Work and maybe family or so. Nothing more. But for women, they don't even know it. They don't even know what these things are. They are just there. Just wakes up.
Yeah, I agree.
She has automatic obstacles in her mind, in her emotions. Why? Because all things are wired together. So any little thing that happens anywhere is affected. So her life is full of obstacles from morning till night. Let me show you another thing here. Let me show you another thing. Even when she wakes up in the morning at home, when she has a good home, a secure home, she just wakes up in the morning. Look at this photograph here. This is the man, no? He wakes up in the morning, he's thinking of food. Or if he drinks, he's thinking of beer. Food, food. One straight line. When we wake up in the morning, we don't even think about anything. No problem. We don't have problem. Either it is food or work or dress or just going to work. Men don't have problem. But woman just wakes up from her sleep like this. See all things that come to her mind. Thousands of problems right on in her mind immediately. This is apart from children, no? We are talking about single here. This is even not children yet. These are not children of all those things yet. Not married, no husband, no. These are just single. Yeah. She is already having so many complex things to think about every day. She just wakes up in the morning. Then, just that men will have an idea of how complex the life of a woman is. For example, you invite a girl or a woman to the restaurant. Let's just go out. That idea, you think you are giving her a gift. Let's go to a restaurant. For the man, he goes up, he thinks about the restaurant, and then thinks about woman. This is the man, restaurant that he's supposed to go to. Then when we come back, we will have sex. Then I will sleep. That's the whole life of the man. We are going to a restaurant today. After that, we will go and eat. After that, I will have sex. After that, I will sleep. But just the idea that she's going to a restaurant, see how many complications. See so many other things that she has to factor in. Just to go to the restaurant, no. She has to think what to wear, how to look, what cosmetics to do, what hair to do, what salon to go, who she will meet, how she will meet, what she will pick. How to even walk into that restaurant. Because everything is connected to this. Intertwined. What do you people have to? Who wants us to talk about this? Yes, please.
We've drawn some lessons for men. Now we should be intentionally delicate with women. I wonder if there's a lesson for women as well.
The lesson for the women is this: is that what I try to say? That we are just ignorant. And I was thinking, the last minute, a few minutes ago, I was saying that I didn't know these things. And now I know that I was wicked. But in Africa, where I grew up, nobody told me that wickedness has anything to do with the way you treat somebody. Attitude. I was just trying to be a man and bully my way through. But actually, now I'm ashamed. I was wicked. Because all the men that I saw around me behaved like that. And even the women couldn't tell me. Nobody told me, even my mother, my grandmother that I lived with, I respected so much. They never told me that don't treat a woman like that. Or they could say, no, don't treat a woman like that. But no reason. People are not giving me the proof or the reason why. I discovered these things myself. Those diagrams I'm showing you, I drew them up myself. Wow. Yes. That particular one that is going on, because I needed to pass the message across. I discovered these things. And I said, my God, why is it that the whole world doesn't know it? So if there's any lesson for the men that the ladies could teach the men, is that please help us to know. We are just ignorant. We are just blind. We just don't know you are hurt so much. Okay, for example, I have training that I do for men in my house here. I bring together 100 men, 200 men, 300 men, 50 men. And do you know, when I begin to talk about this, one of the most pertinent questions that comes out to me from the men is that, Pastor, you want to say that their life is more complicated than ours? You mean they have more difficulties? Because men have built themselves a myth that we are the ones who struggle, that we have to go to work, we have to find money, we have to bring money out, we have to, we think that is problem. We think that the only problem, let me tell you what the men think about it, that the only problem women have is how to look beautiful. They are just thinking of cosmetics. That's the only thing. They don't even have any problem at all. And that cosmetics is out of lack of what to do. That is what is making them to always think about cosmetics and how to look beautiful. But they don't know that they have to think how to look beautiful because they have to put themselves in shape. They have to put themselves in order and try to put all those things that are troubling them behind them and under. So that is one thing that we can learn, the men could learn. The men could learn, women could help men to know what we don't know. Because even when a girl comes and tells a man this thing, you know what the man thinks? She's trying to manipulate. So when it is your wife that is telling you, we normally don't believe. When it's your girlfriend that is telling you, you normally don't believe. So that's why these teachings must be popularized to help even our children know. You know, we don't know. But like I'm saying, I am the same person who is ashamed today. But I am also the same person who was rough.
I'm saying that this message is more acceptable from a man. And even women, I mean, even, you know, when women are being abused, or even when women abusing women, and because of tradition, they've imbibed the tradition. When a woman, even when you stand up to speak against it, you become the victim automatically. And eventually, most women end up keeping quiet because they don't want to be labeled the Jezebel, you know, of society. So I see the role of men very important in standing up for humanity and for women, because women are a vital part.
I don't know who is going to win in the election in America, but like I always tell people, as a Christian, I will probably join my Christian brothers to vote for Trump. As a Christian, I will vote for Trump. But as a human being, as a thinking man, I will vote for Hillary. And one of the reasons that I will vote for Hillary is because of the way I watched all the debates. We were still, even this man was using bully tactics against a woman. You don't treat, from what I know today. And you know what? Christians were doing, pastors were going on the internet. Oh yeah, she's going to jail. Ah yeah, bully her. You don't know that little phrase. You are going to, without any respect, they don't know how crushing, how damaging. Even though she's looking okay, she's looking as she's holding herself. But I know because it's not even depending on her. That thing that is all together, you don't treat a woman like that. Don't be so. But she is very tactful. She is always respecting. She is always saying things right, you know, without his personality. She's always making the facts without touching his personality. But he is always his personality, reminding of the husband and what the other did. And then bullying, crushing of a woman. Do that to her husband. To do that to a man. But
it's emotional abuse.
Emotional abuse that no human being in America stood up to point that out for what it is, that is an abuse right there on the stage of the world. I'm surprised nobody is saying that.
It's accepted behavior.
Sorry?
That is accepted behavior. No one's going to stand up to it because in their minds, well, Hillary should know, you know, she should become the man in this situation, basically. In everybody else's man, Hillary should become a man in this situation.
What do you mean acceptable? What is acceptable behavior?
It's acceptable behavior for a man to behave that way.
To be
bullying a woman in an arena that's considered headed by men. Do you know what I'm saying?
Is a men's territory. Yeah. So it's like saying this is a man's world.
So they feel like, okay, she's a woman in the man's territory, so she should behave like a man. She shouldn't be hurt like that. She shouldn't, you know.
So a man has the right to treat her that way?
He doesn't. But the thing is, it's accepted because people in their mind are saying, well, this has always been a man's arena. Yeah. So if she's going to come and fight with the big boys, she has to act like the big boys.
No, they have to treat her like the big boys.
They have to treat her like the big boy. Otherwise, you know.
They have no other way of treating her. They don't know if
they don't know. Or if here's the thing, is that maybe he wouldn't be as nasty to a man because he knows it won't affect him. So because she's a woman and he
the
knows,
man cannot reply.
he knows where the weakness is. Of course, he's going to attack it. If it was her husband again, he wouldn't say all those things. He knows that you're a man. You're not gonna care if I call you nasty man. Right. But because you're a woman, and I know that's you're gonna go home.
Calling a woman nasty on public television, you don't know what that does to a woman. I mean, you don't do that. In fact, I was weeping because I know what I know now. But you don't do that. I'm sorry.
Another question from you, sir. What would you say to women? Because there is this school of thought from mostly women who think it's condescending to treat them different than you treat men. So
that's exactly what I'm saying.
So
you have to.
Yes, but I'm saying.
But they are the feminists. The ones you are talking about.
Yes.
The ones you are talking about
so
are the feminists. But no, they are talking about too, and I understand them. The women know that most of the time men treat them differently because they want to exploit them, and they want to use them, or they want to manipulate them. So they say, rather than you treat me different or something, treat me anyhow, but I will know at least that I have an equal footing. I don't know what you are, So they are saying that instead of me instead of you to be putting me in a place whereby as if you are doing me favor, and normally when men do favor to a woman, they want something in return. That is just our society the way it is. We are supposed to, like you said, don't just treat your wife nicely. Treat every woman nicely, which is the right thing to do as a kingdom person. That's the kingdom perspective. But in the world, even in church sometimes, when I do nice things to you, then I come back. I mean, there is a woman that told me this story that the husband left. And she had miscarriage. And the husband just walked out. Then the pastor or the other man that was trying to help her, was helping her quite all right. A woman just had a week ago miscarriage. Then the next thing, I gave you my car, I gave you 15,000 naira or something. Now I want to sleep with you. Miscarriage. Then the husband just left. So the woman would rather say, please just treat me anyhow you want to treat me. But don't take advantage of me. Don't say because you have been good to me or you have been kind to me or you treat me, that I'm weaker, so then I have to do you any favor. Because you are doing me any favor. What do you return for my favor? So those women is the defense mechanism. Those women, it's not because they don't need it though. It's not because they don't have the need. It's not because they don't. They are built the same. Women are built the same. But they are afraid of who to trust. It's again the problem of trust. That's what we started with. The women don't trust easily. They want you to prove to them, first of all, that you could be trusted before they could open. I don't know what the ladies will say about that.
No, I agree. I definitely agree. I think that a lot of the problems that women face is trust issues. It's just, even a woman who, like, a lot of men will say, okay, this woman is cold, she's heartless, I don't know what's wrong with her, she's icy, they'll call her all these names. And it's just a defense mechanism of years of being abused with being who she is. And so then she will just cut herself off. And I would say that I even have some of those traits. Maybe I even have adopted some male responses to things to protect myself from acting like a woman, because I know that if I act like a woman in this situation, I'll be abused for it, or I'll be ignored, which is even worse. Or even if I'm talking to a woman, I know I'm not going to cry or I'm not going to show my emotion, because I know you will just look at me and ridicule me for it.
And say I'm weak.
And say I'm weak, or say, oh, you're just looking for attention, or, And I've had, even from a kid, even in elementary school, if you say this boy was harassing you and you go and tell, one of your women teachers, she'll say, oh, well, you're just looking for attention. Why are you next to him? It's your fault. So after a while...
So these old women are going through? After
a while, you get to the point where you're just like, okay, it's just me. It's just me and myself, so I'm going to build
Are you
my
really
own.
serious?
Right. So you become your own man in certain senses.
So women are forced to hide even the suffering they're going through, just so that people will not accuse them, turn around and accuse them.
It's not. I mean, here's the thing. Even if I continue to go back and forth, if you're just going to accuse me and not solve my problem, I'll solve my own problem. Do you know what I'm saying? If I go to you and I'm just getting accused, okay, fine, maybe I'm at fault, but still the problem is here. So what I'm going to do is defend myself. What I'm going to do is build my own wall, be secretive or whatever I need to do in order to be, like I said, kind of become your own man in certain senses, because there's not a protection, there's not even a sisterhood. I think even our sisterhoods have been broken down by this kind of mentality that, women can't be who they are in certain situations, and if they are who they are, well, we expected that, and we can't trust them, and it's just like she said, you go here, you're blamed, you go there, you're blamed. So after a while, you become your own wall.
And that's why rape a lot of men who rape get away with it, because the women that are raped can't open up. You open up, you're told it's a lie, you made it up. And so she'd rather just sort of like keep it to herself and suffer and just cry. And then that's why it's many years after they've been raped, they come out. We had a case in England where it was after the guy had died that the women were now coming out to speak out. But wait, he's gone into the grave. But to them, he was an icon. If I should tell this, they're not going to believe me. If I should go to the police, oh, this is a guy that's well-known, philanthropies, doing this and that.
This is exactly my story.
They
are right.
Yeah, they can. In African culture, it's even worse. You have the uncle, and then, he tampers with the girl, and the girl tries to talk to her mother, and she thinks that, oh, right, I think you're making up something. And then she can talk. And then she endures that over and over. That abuse continues for years until they grow up. I have cases where I've had to, basically, have to get them.
Stand for them.
Yeah. And so it's a real issue, because anywhere they turn to, they're not believed.
My. There's a sister here writing. Fumi Onifade, yes. She is saying, in the Middle East here, women are not to be seen or heard. Can't eat in a restaurant without the husband. So what about if she's not married? So she's second class. Can't drive. Must walk behind, etc. Thank God for a freedom in the body of Christ that we have, and that we are discussing these things to bring freedom to people. So these questions actually are there. Only nobody is raising them.
Only nobody. It's even worse in Asian countries.
In England, they have something like in the social realm, they like making things child-friendly and things like that. But I would say that the world isn't woman-friendly at all.
Are you serious?
Oh, definitely.
What world?
Our world generally.
Even in England?
Well, we belong to different worlds. We belong to the church world. So it depends on where you find yourself.
But the church world is more accommodating to the women.
Not that I know. Not that I know. Especially with the progress of women in ministry and women being all that God created them to be, it hasn't been very woman friendly.
To me, we will get there. To me, we will get there in the church. I think the church issue has been that we've been religious. It's always been, okay, don't worry, God will take care of it. A woman comes to you, he tells you, my husband's doing this. You tell that woman, oh, my husband's beating me. You tell her, don't worry, God is going to, take care of it. She goes back to that abusive situation, and, she's crying out. I've had instances where, the woman, came and said, my husband threatened to kill me. And then the pastor's wife said, look, you have to hold on to your marriage, this and that. And then, she went, the woman did kill her. The woman, I mean, the man did kill her. So, but I think, you know, I think it's just the fact that we've been brainwashed to think that, okay, marriages, yes, we have to hold on to our marriages, but if you die, to me, you know.
No, but you are talking about, please, Pastor, you are talking about a situation when a husband is abusing a wife.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say today, Pastor, is that women are not abuse material at all. Their nature abhors it. We must know that the nature of the woman, of the baby girl, abhors any kind of abuse. Her nature doesn't tolerate. Abuse me instead. My nature tolerates abuse better. That's what I'm saying. The nature of the woman doesn't even, not just physical abuse, or even emotional abuse is not allowed by, it's not how, it's not even society, it's not built up by God, does not permit it. So for you to even be saying, oh, she has to go back there, what do you mean go back there?
Exactly.
What do you mean go back there?
Exactly.
What do you mean go back there? She could go back there physically, but I will tell you what is happening to her mind. I will tell you what's happening to her emotions. I will tell you what is happening. Thousands of evil feelings and emotions. She could go back there physically, but a year later, ask a girl, ask any girl that has been abused, either slapped or what, 10 years ago, if she doesn't remember it. If she doesn't remember it 10 years later. If she doesn't remember 10 years later. And you want to tell me, abuse you tonight, with the money, go back?
Go back.
You were talking to me about going back. You don't know what you are concealing, what you are doing. God sees the kind of you are being a participant of evil. You are being a collaborator of evil. You are killing actually a human being that way, because you don't even know how many emotions are going at the same time. How much you are killing that woman there. Yes, she might still be in that house. Yes, you might force her to go back there, but you are killing her, and she is dying every single day. That's why we have so much cancer with the woman, because she has to conceal it inside herself, and those emotions are not being released. She's not being on fire because her nature abhors those things. And when you are forcing her to keep up with it, to hold up to it, those things will grow into something else. They will grow into growth. They will grow into lumps. They will grow into pain. They will go into cancer, heart attack. That's why they die more of cancer than anybody else, because they are forced to hold in them things that were supposed to be released long time ago. Look at this. Look at this. This is computer analysis. This is the man under here. This is the kind of life men live. Straight line. Straight line. Maybe issues, 1, 2, 3 issues. But woman, one question, any one question you raise, with the woman, look. These are movements, so in her. At the same time, processes. So talk less of whether it is evil or bad or negative. So you think you have convinced her. So all those talks we do to tell her endure, be patient, and persevere. See what you are doing to her. All these things are happening anyway. She might be silent by closing her mouth, but you are killing every cell of her body. See how many things a woman has to deal with every day. Any question, this is just the question here. Any single question that is raised is causing all this commotion in her body. And the man is just like straight. You just think about it or you take decision. Yes, sir.
Thank God for this wonderful teaching. What in this case now, what is the church supposed to do to help the men in the kingdom?
To help the men
in the kingdom, because
very good question.
Because we have
very good question.
We have families that are suffering from this kind of even inside the church. So what is
the church should start to be real. We need to start to be real and stop being religious and face reality. We need to face reality. And there's this thing where the individual becomes an outcast. because she takes a stand, moves out of the abusive, relationship, and all of a sudden, she's divorced, she's a single mother, she's now, there's now a stereotype. The church should wake up to reality. We are losing too many women. Too many women are dying of cancer and leaving children motherless. And the church needs to wake up and face reality.
Some men are even writing. Some men that we are crying, we are weeping. We can't believe it. Even men can't believe this. I think one of the things that pastors do, what you said, one of the things that pastors should do is at least
Yes.
Pastors should begin to show empathy, understanding.
Yes.
Pastors should begin to let people know that they understand these issues and begin to raise the issues at least. Pastors should begin to talk at least about these things. And
it's pastors that even preach the pulpit against this set of people. Oh, you can't hold your home. It's because you are this. Some of them don't even feel comfortable in church. Some of them don't feel, but the earlier the pastors start to really address it, the better. Because trust me, the issue of cancer you brought up, it's a reality. And all of a sudden you find a 30-something-year-old is, and then before you know it, 2-3 months, they're gone.
And during preachings, pastors are very quick to open up to Ephesians chapter 5.
Submit.
That you have to submit.
That word submission, it's like, that is like lordship. And they don't read the previous verse. They don't read the verse after. Submit one to another. They don't see that. It's about the woman. Yeah, highly oppressive.
So how do women see that verse? When men, especially men, are posting it all the time. It's very oppressive.
Very, very oppressive. So
it has become an instrument of oppression.
Oh, it's an instrument of oppression because people decide to ignore the top, and when you even bring up the verse that comes before about submitting to one another, they say, it's talking about the church in general. But when it comes to the man and wife, that's not supposed to be there.
So just keep quiet. That word, submit, is like saying keep quiet.
But then the man is supposed to submit to God, but if you're submitting to Jesus Christ, then Jesus is not oppressing you, and then you want to oppress if you are God's true representative, because you're God's representative in that home, God doesn't lord it over you. He gives you your own free will, but then no, you don't want to give the woman her own free will. You have to. If women have to take permission to do certain things.
Some men are writing here that we are sorry. We just didn't know.
We forgive you.
The thing I was going to say about the cancer
thing. They didn't know. Because the pastors are not talking about this to the men also. And when the women who are talking are their wives, and they don't believe that their wives are talking the truth. They think the wives just want to manipulate. But now that you are all talking about this, they are saying we are sorry because we didn't know that this is the nature that you are actually telling the truth.
The thing I was going to say about the cancer thing is that when I was studying about how cancer comes about, it's basically a deformed cell that the other cells do not recognize as an intruder. And if you think of that in a spiritual sense, that's what's going on inside your spirit. You are actually not recognizing that an intruder has entered you, that a foreign nature has now come and oppressed you.
All those anger, all those hatred, all those wounds, all those pain that she's keeping inside. They are not supposed to be there. They're supposed to be released.
So it's the same. Cancer has already started way before you actually get the diagnosis.
Wow.
It's
just because the church is. We have to face the church because that's where people go, and so pastors, ministers, and those who organize women's conferences. need to start talking about this. Rather,
men's conferences.
That's another thing. There's a lot of women's conferences, but no, I hardly get to. Yes.
Okay.
So men are not being educated or impacted. Okay, maybe TDJs, whatever, and then I don't know how many.
Not as popular.
Even pastors, you don't even organize men's conferences.
Yes.
I would say when these situations come up, in my experience, the church is not the safe place to go.
Are you serious?
It depends. Things
They
are
don't
changing.
understand.
In my experience, the church generally, I mean, you might go to a woman in the background or you might go to another person.
Things
in the
are
background,
changing.
But generally, it hasn't been a safe place to go.
So that's one of the
It'll be
things
further
the pastors
oppression.
could do.
It'll be
That's
further
what pastor is
oppression.
saying, that what can we do as pastors? So now you are trying to tell us that pastors should at least make the church a safe place. So that we will be more accommodating. So our solution before as pastors has been one way. But wives obey, submit, obey your husband as unto the Lord. So that is the only solution the church had always been having. But now you are trying to say, try to understand.
There has to be an understanding. And a lot of the teachings that you've been teaching here need to be taken back to the churches. People need to be taught.
And that's why it needs to be shared.
implementation.
People have to share.
They have to share this.
They have to share this. The people have
It's
to
not
share
about
this.
making
This
money
is
or
not.
anything.
This is not about okay,
you were
Pastor
saying I was
Sunday this
making
and
money.
that person is just for.
And it's not about Pastor Sunday.
No.
These are all issues.
Liberating humanity. How much money are they going to pay you that will pay for this deliverance? How much money?
So you want to tell people to go share?
They've got to share. Everybody, I'm always sharing. Even pastors, get your members to watch it. It doesn't demean you in any way. Get your, because it makes life easier. It makes your job easier. If your men can get this truth, then you have less problems. You don't have a lot of marital issues coming your way because why? They're liberated, they're educated, they're informed. This is purely, we can't even pay Pastor Sunday enough for this information, for this, deliverance.
I would just say that half of the body of Christ has been oppressed, and time has come for the liberation of the body of Christ, The men can't be liberated and the women oppressed. The whole body has to be liberated.
Okay.
Awesome.
And I want to join all the men that are here who have been weeping and crying just by knowing. You see, just by knowing. And I want to join everybody and say, in the name of Jesus, God help us. Help us, Father. Help the men to understand the women they are living with. Help the men to understand the nature of women. Help the men to understand their daughters, their wives, their sisters, their spouses. Father, forgive us also. Forgive me, forgive all my men, all the men around, all husbands, all sons, all fathers. Forgive us, my Father. Forgive me for my sins against women. Forgive our brothers for their sins against women. Forgive me for abuse against women, for crushing women. Forgive me for every wrong that is done against a woman. Forgive every man for what we have done against women. Father, forgive us. Please give us understanding. Cause this word to go around. Cause this word to go viral. Cause this repentance to go all over. And help us to really begin to be compassionate. To begin to become fathers to our women, to our wives, to our daughters. To begin to become protection, protective edge, covering for our women. Help us, oh dear Father, to begin to understand what it means to really care and really, protect and really watch over and really be delicate toward these ladies. Father, don't let us contribute to their wounds. Don't let us contribute to their damages and abuses. Father, help us to rather be the men that cover them from these abuses, that protect them from these abuses, that guard them, that protect them, that watches over them, that prevents all these abuses from coming to them. Help us, oh dear Father, to be our brother's keepers. You ask Cain to be the brother's keeper. Help us to be our sister's keepers, oh dear Father. Help us to be our sister's keepers. In the name of Jesus. In Jesus' name. And I, as a pastor and as a leader in the church, in the body of Christ, I want to repent on behalf of the pastors, on behalf of the men. I want to repent and ask for forgiveness. I'm standing on my knees right now before all the women that are out there, for all the offense and the abuse and the mistreatment and the rough attitudes and the bad attitudes and the lack of protection, that we didn't give the protection that's needed. Father, I forgive your church, forgive your pastors, that we have made even the church to be like the men's world. Forgive us, oh dear Father, that we have not given the protection, the covering that is needed. Father, forgive us, oh Lord. The women, we are also asking you to forgive us. Forgive the men, forgive husbands, forgive wives, our brothers, forgive the pastors, forgive the men that have been bullying you, that have been abusing you, raping you, just doing all kind of evil. Father, forgive us, the women, our sisters, brothers, please forgive us. Forgive us, oh Lord. In Jesus' name. I'm sorry, we need to go to HMT now. We need to go to the class. But, sorry, guys. Anybody want to say anything? No? Okay. Thank you so much. So thank you. Please go and share the messages. Let's go share these messages and let it spread the word. In the next 10 minutes or so, we'll be doing a direct transmission, a live stream also from the History Makers class. God bless you guys. Bye.